Hey everybody, this is a follow-up video to my review of a Tata Nexon EV we purchased in July of 2020. I had put up a video, it got a lot of views and a lot of questions, a lot of messages. And I think it's only fair that I put up a follow-up, especially when we're having so much issues, when we're having a wonder ride with this car for quite a while. So we bought this car, like I said, in July 2020. You can see a sort of a video I made back then in my channel. And now it's January of 2024. It's been 3.5 years, give or take. And we've had some very serious issues with this car. We've had the battery pack changed already 3 to 4 months ago. In the last 6 months, the car has had the same issues after we changed the battery pack. So just because people are like, okay, you have a 7-year warranty, life will be good, it's going to be fine. It's not going to be fine, because if they change the battery and the issues don't stop, then what? Right? You're in trouble. So off the bat, let me give you some context. I am a big enthusiast of sustainability. I can't even say the word anymore because this freaking product, Tata Nexon EV, has traumatized me. But I mean, I'm kidding, of course. You can't use the word trauma lightly, but it's been almost traumatizing. I'm all about sustainability, and I don't like to use plastic around the house. I follow AQI readings, the air quality index readings of the towns and cities I live in, or I'm traveling to, or I'm staying in. And with this in mind, when EVs became a thing about 5-6 years ago abroad. I mean, even before that, I think from 2010-11, I've been very keen. And so when I was here, we were looking for an EV. We were hell-bent on, replacing our last car with an EV. And let me make it very clear, I did not want to buy the Tata Nexon, not because I have any problem with Tata, just because any new emerging technology, when it's at the cutting edge of things, or when it's just in its infancy, you want to go with reputed names, right? So I was all about solar for the last 15-20 years. I was keen to put solar in our house, and we went with the best names available that we could find in the market, right? Tata, Solar, etc. So there I went for Tata, and we're very happy customers of Tata Solar for the most part. Very minimal issues, no regrets there. But then when it comes to an EV car, there is no track record for Tata at the time, and so I was very insistent that we get something like a Hyundai Kona, or MG was also coming out with their new car, but I was like, okay, why don't we wait for this MG to run, because it has more of a base it has to satisfy. It's going to run all around the world, in China, in Europe. So Tata, I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I mean, I don't have experience with this brand, and it's EV technology, it's new. So, but my parents were for it. My father was saying it was an Indian company, we should buy India, and he was on that kind of a trip. And my mother was very keen on saving those extra lakhs of rupees which you could save by buying an Nexon EV. And lo and behold, I've spent way more than that money we saved in terms of the time I've spent because of this car. I've been stuck on roads countless times. I could have been working, making an hourly wage, which could have, which clearly I have lost because of this car. So those are sort of the compensatory costs, if you think about it, but which people don't think about. They don't think about how valuable their hour is. Like the number of hours I spent on the road, if I was working those hours, that's how I think about it. How much money would I have made? That's how much money I lost running behind this car. And in those terms, I have lost way more than we have saved by not buying a Kona, or even an MG, or right now, I mean, the best in the market is BYD. So the three major issues we've had with this car, without taking too long, some of the major issues, there are many major issues. One is the car falls into neutral below 20% of battery, 15% of battery. So let's think about this. The battery falls below 20 or 15%, and then the car starts falling into neutral, and you cannot move. And so you sort of, wherever you're moving, you sort of pull, because the car's slowing down, and then you pull it to the side, and then you wait there for half an hour, then the car will start and it will fall to drive if you wait half an hour at least. But it might go just 100 meters, it might go 1 kilometer, it might go 5 kilometers. You don't know, never 5 kilometers, 1 kilometer max. So what this car has taught me is, humility. Like, just because I have an EV, I can't drive around with my sunglasses anymore, because I keep my sunglasses closed down, and I keep my buttons buttoned up, because I have to beg every shopkeeper every week. Somewhere I'll be stuck and I'll be like, hey, can I please use your 15 amp socket? They'll be like, if they have, they will. If they don't, this 4 days ago when I was stuck, there was 2 whole streets at a junction. Nobody had 15 amp sockets. There were all these kind of makeshift shutters, as we call it in Kerala. And so I spoke to an auditorium person, and we had to negotiate. He was a youngster. It was all about the bottom line. He's like, how much can you pay me? And so I waited 45 minutes, and then finally got the car to right outside this place and charged it till about 25%, and then I was able to drive back home. So the biggest problem with the car, below 15-20%, it falls to neutral, doesn't fall back to drive, had to tow it many times because of this. And with this week, so even after all this experience, we have a backup plan. So first of all, the car gives us only 150 to 170 kilometers of range, number one. We changed the battery pack 4 months ago. Even after that, we're getting only 170 kilometers range with the car. With normal driving, I try to keep the graph where the graph is supposed to be, no crazy sports mode, just air conditioning, just driving, 170 kilometers. So if you cannot drive 10 to 15% of that even, because, like I said, when below 20%, you're in trouble with our car. So 20% of, 150, 170 is 35 kilometers, right? If you're getting only 150, now we're getting 170. So till 6 months ago, if you're getting only 150, 10 to 20% is 15 to 30 kilometers. So basically you're getting 120 to 135 kilometers of real range with the TATA NEXON EV for close to 20 lakh rupees. We got the Lux EVZ Lux Plus version, right? So you pay all that money and you get 120 kilometers of range. The distance from our town of Kottayam to Kochi is 50 kilometers, and I'm telling you, this week we went and we came back, we didn't make it home. We had to make an extra run there from the church to an auditorium, but all things considered, right? That extra 10 kilometers, we cannot come home after a 50 kilometer run, you get stuck on the road. So we have a charging station as our backup. We're like, okay, even if this car doesn't, fulfill 120 kilometers, we have a charging station. Lo and behold, they're usually very reliable. Xeon, at least more reliable than the rest of the ones that we are used to. And Xeon was not working. And so we had to wing it and go home, and then we got stuck. And I put everybody, my parents, my siblings, everybody on an auto, and I played the game again. You play this game all the time, get stuck on the road, send everybody home who was in the car. Go and find some sambaram or some lime soda to drink. Wait 40 minutes. Drive the car to a shop that I've spoken to. Try to charge over there. If their grounding is not right, if their wiring is not right, find another shop. Talk to them. Spent 6 hours on the road. Finally charged the car enough. Went back home. I came back home at 1 in the morning that night. This has been my experience. This is the last one. Onam, different story. I really don't want to spend my time on these stories. The first problem is that. Second problem, when we changed the battery, the car was out for 3 weeks. We had a rental car. We spent 52,000 rupees. We have it tabulated. We sent it as an email to Tata's customer service. We still haven't received it. This happened 3 months ago. This is how vigilant they are of customers, right? Third thing, we've been given a directive by our TATA NEXON here that our car should not touch water. When it touches water, it has high voltage error. This was the only thing that I was like, okay, at least this car has this, because they had a video when they first came out with the car, before the cars were in the market, of it going through flood waters. Forget flood waters. If there is water, ankle high water, the car has high voltage error. from just so the water is not even going into the bonnet, it's just splashing from the bottom into the car. This gets, and so we've been told not to drive the car in water. This is what Tata's answer to us is: no, do not drive the car in water. So here we have a car that cannot touch water. We are in a flood state, we are natural calamity, climate change, central place, we cannot touch water. We cannot trust the car to go below 20%. 15% guaranteed, 20% usually, 25% we are already sweating. Range anxiety to the core because we are only getting 135 kilometers range, real world, right? It's been a travesty, this car, absolute travesty. So anybody who's planning to still buy this car, if you've bought this car because you saw a previous review of mine, I hope you're not one of the 1% or 5% of customers who have this experience, because they do. I'm part of the WhatsApp group. We see these experiences from all around Kerala itself. These are just customers from Kerala in this WhatsApp group. The max limit is there, and then there's a Telegram group. And in there itself, the number of clients, the number of people who've had issues, it has to be more than 1%. If I were to guess, it's 5%, maybe 10%. We should ask Tata to release these numbers. But this is the situation I'm with the car. I'm looking at how to best ease this pain for my parents. They're the ones who rely on this car, and they cannot really leave this town with this car. They're also being made fun of by the neighbors, the family, all the believers, all the haters. They're not everybody's a hater, but they always think I'm a little eccentric about this air pollution, sustainability, solar. They're like, Kandile, look what happened, This is all the lovely sayings come out in Kerala where you become a fool, right? But I take it with humor, life is funny. Sometimes you become the clown, it's okay. But not everybody should become the clown. So let Tata not make you, or let you not be one of the 1 to 5% or 10% who becomes a clown. So this video is for that. I hope you guys watch this very carefully before you buy Tata. I mentioned the problems we had with the car. There are a lot more things I could mention. If I were to go to detail of every time I stuck on the road, all my wonderful experiences, oh my God, this car has been an adventure. You don't even have to go to the Himalayas. You just have to drive around Kerala and you get the whole adventure trip on this car. So I'll keep it at that. I'll try to keep it lighthearted. All the best for all of you people, and thank you for watching.